Hi guys, welcome back, Geminis. All right, so happy full moon, Geminis. Let's get to a little, celebratory message for the full moon. This is also a super moon. It's also known as the deer rutting moon by the Lakota population. And so, of course, there's lots of different names. You can look those up on the Old Farmer's Almanac to read up about the different names for each different full moon. But that was the one that captured my attention and the inspiration for this. So I wanted to look at it more from the perspective of what is this particular supermoon bringing up from the subconscious, specifically around the topic of relationships. Hi, Aries. Sweet dreams, babe. We have got the Queen of Cups. We've got the King of Swords. And we've got the Eight of Wands. Okay, so first and foremost, I would say Gemini saying, we need to talk. That's what I'm realizing. If there's longing glances, oh God, what's that song? Worn out something and longing glances. Oh God. Oh, I'd have to sing the whole thing. Won't bring him into your heart. I can't think of the song right now. It's in my head. I can hear it's a woman singing it. But in any case, yeah, it's the version I'm thinking of is like 1960s. It's not in his Kiss. It's not the Cher version of the Shoop Shoop song or doo-wop song. It's something else. It's definitely a 60s track. Anyway, it might be. It almost feels like it could be Mama Cass or something. Anyway, but it's time to do more than just have longing gazes. It's time to talk about emotions. Two adult people need to converse more. Now, this is how we salvage a connection, or this is what's been missing. Two people who could love each other, or two people who haven't yet built a connection. And it's like, and we never will if we don't start to actually gravitate and talk to each other. I kind of feel like this is a potential love story that hasn't begun. And deep down, it's like, that's because there hasn't been the real effort yet put in. Hi, Mosin, Moon Pony, Voyager 2. So wonderful to see everybody. Okay, we have Lovers and we have the Tower. In this case, they call it the Blasted Tower. And I keep saying two people need to come closer together. They need to drop any extra formalities. They need to be more friendly, more warm, more, just like, I'll say, comfortable and authentic. They need to talk and maybe in this case touch. It's like a kiss on the back of the hand. That's very it's very like old school, honorable, but it also makes physical contact. Telling another person that you admire them, that you like them, that goes a long way. Opening up, giving somebody the positive reinforcement that you admire them, or that there's something about them that you really enjoy being around. Like, everybody feels better knowing that they're welcomed. Like, oh, my day just got better. You just walked in, so long as it's sincere. And I think in this case it's very sincere, but I feel like Gemini is saying the formalities need to dissipate, and maybe the real, like, I'm delighted to see you. And maybe it's going to be Gemini who opens up that door a little bit, who takes the lead. And I'll say that because even if Gemini identifies as a feminine, they're the ones in the masculine energy here. So the energy of the sun, that's the person that is going to project and move forward. So it doesn't matter. This could be same-sex couple, reverse gender roles, but it does look like our air sign energy is the one thinking, you know what? Maybe I'm dealing with a very shy person. Maybe I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I let them know I look forward to seeing them, especially if this is a relationship that hasn't gotten off the ground yet. If this is a potential relationship and we want to encourage somebody to know that, like, I look forward to seeing you. I want us to gravitate and lean toward each other. Then let me go ahead and make sure that I let them know they would be welcome to lean in my direction. It just feels very sincere, and it feels like, okay, so I'm not going to have any ego up. I mean, sometimes the more we give a compliment, or the more like we just let stuff roll off our tongue that we mean, the easier it gets to express ourselves. Like, I would say terms of endearment come pretty easy to me. It's more a part of my language than But for many years, I didn't do that. I like stifled that. And now I just don't care. Maybe that's the joy of becoming, in my 40s. Like, I know you all have names out here in the chat, but honestly, saying hi, darling, and stuff, that's actually more natural to me. And it conveys like, I'm happy to see you, and it's more like the way I actually would talk if I don't stifle that side of myself. And so I just decided finally, why do I have to? That's the way I actually talk. And that's just how it is. And it just gets easier when you're just like, look, that's the way I am. So, oh, well, I'm overly floral with my language. That's just how I roll. And so embracing that and just not stifling it has been more comfortable for me as I've aged, because it's actually the way I would normally talk. And I think in this storyline, maybe that's, now we're applying it more to a potential romance, but it's like, I don't think that these people have to, instantly start calling each other babe or whatever, unless that's natural for them. This is more about like, I just want to be able to tell somebody that I like them and I'm attracted to them. And I feel like that's what's coming up from the subconscious, is like Gemini might realize I'm the one who might have to actually express this a little bit first. But you know what? It shouldn't be uncomfortable or embarrassing to tell somebody like, oh, it's so good to see you. I was hoping I'd bump into you today. Looking fine and green today. She's in this gorgeous green dress, or he, it doesn't matter. Whatever this is, it just feels like Gemini is going to be the one who goes, you know what I realize, and I've known for a while, I don't know if they have the same comfort zone that I do. Even if they're loving, they might not want to step across that boundary and put themselves out there. Maybe they're afraid I'll take it wrong. So maybe I open that door instead. And I stand beside them and talk to them. When I see them at the party, I'll go up to them. Maybe I will be the one who, it's not even like making the first move. It's more just like creating that comfort zone to where it's like, I'm so happy to see you. I want to, run up and give you a hug, or whatever it might be. This feels like the starting point for a relationship, or the rejuvenation of a relationship. And maybe that, like, reassuring each other that we're happy to see them is really important for the rejuvenation of, maybe these two are already married. In this story, it could go either way for me. I can't tell if this is somebody that Gemini might start a romance with, or if it's a romance that's already established, but let's bring them closer together. And it starts with letting somebody know that, oh, so nice to see your face. You're my favorite face of the day. That kind of like sincere warmth. And if that didn't come supernatural, or something got awkward for a period of time, this is like either the way to salvage it, or the way to maybe start a comfort zone between two people. When you let somebody know that you're happy to see them, it took me years to get comfortable, like going to like the mechanics. It's always just a little bit intimidating, but thankfully, I have great mechanics that I will travel great distances for, to keep going to them, because I'm just so comfortable with them. And I have crossed state lines to go and take my car to them when I sensed something was off. I've towed my car there before too, because that's a comfort zone for me. I know that they're great. I know I can trust them, and they don't make me feel awkward or stupid or anything like that. So it's just really comfortable, and it's so crazy how knowing that you're liked, you like them, you appreciate them, they're fair and square. It's just such a wonderful, like, no stress environment. And so even in non-romantic connections, just letting people know that, like, you belong here, I'm happy to see you, that can be so, like, reassuring to everyone, especially if there's been some weird distance. We do have that Two of Swords. Either this is like the first time that Gemini will breach this polite facade and get to like friendship that then could, become full-blown romantic relationship. But somewhere, somebody's got to make the step toward, like, let me open this up and make it feel more comfortable. Let me let you know that you're welcome here. Let me let you know that I like you. And I think it's going to be Gemini doing it. Maybe, let me ask this. Why is this coming up for Gemini? Is it because it's in their subconscious? A Five of Cups in the reverse. I would say Gemini is the one who goes, I don't want to miss out on somebody that I might really enjoy. I definitely don't want to be like, man, something could have come of that, but it never did, because I never, put myself out there a little bit. Now, I will say this. Sometimes we read a situation wrong, or sometimes we put ourselves on the line a little bit. We give and make somebody else feel really comfortable, or we try to open up that door and they're not interested. That can suck, but on the other hand, it's like, oh, okay, sorry, didn't mean to overstep a boundary, and then we just back off. It feels like in this case, it's like Gemini is saying, I would rather maybe, try to be friendly and warm and let somebody know that I like them, then never do that and then wonder, God, if I had just moved toward them, I wonder what would have happened. It feels like this Gemini is too brave to miss out on chances in their life. 9 of Wands, very brave. This is a Gemini who has probably said, look, I've been a fool for lesser things. That Billy Joel, I have been a fool for lesser things. I want you so bad. And I think you ought to know that I intend to hold you for the longest time. Yeah, I haven't heard that song in a long time. Right? That's Billy Joel, isn't it? April, good to see you. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Wendy. Truly natural. So good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. We get a 3 of Wands in the reverse. Better sooner than later, too. This is not a Gemini who's like going to let grass grow under their feet. This is a brave and warm Gemini who has courage and who's been like, look, I've had other things in my life that I learned if you don't just go for it, sometimes it slips through your fingers and it was something that you really wanted. So I'm not going to let that happen. I'm just there. I don't need a big preamble. I don't need to wait and prep and blah, blah, blah. I'm literally just going to call that person up or walk right up to him when I see him tomorrow and maybe stand a little too close and be like, oh, it always makes my day when I see you. I've been waiting to see you, thinking about you last night, looking forward to seeing you today. It just might be that blunt, that bold. And I kind of think that that's who Gemini is. Let me just ask, how is this full moon hitting that person? Because I feel like this is somebody on Gemini's mind. This is somebody on Gemini's mind. We have a 10 of Pentacles in the reverse. They could feel very isolated and very lonely and very out there swinging in the wind by themselves. They may not have support around them right now. This could be just what they need. The Hermit, talk about being out there on their own and alone. So they could be a Virgo, by the way. I don't know if this person has had that kind of warmth. They might feel almost invisible walking through this world sometimes. How amazing. And maybe this explains why Gemini is like subconsciously saying, I think I just want to gravitate toward them and I want to go offer them some warmth and I want to kind of let them know that I like them. Maybe there's a deeper reason for that. Maybe it's because in this storyline, this Gemini is intuitive enough to also sense this person's not used to having warmth. They're not used to being invited in out of the cold. That could definitely be why Gemini is like, you know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and, welcome them. 6 of Swords sideways for them. I definitely feel like this person has been somewhere between being like in a calm life and a really difficult life, somewhere where they just kind of are just isolated. I feel like this person maybe is a little bit stressed in social situations because they don't want to misread something and then be told to get lost. Maybe they've had that happen a few too many times. This person could have been ostracized. They may not have a family around them. They may not have strength around them or support around them. Think of how amazing that would be if we were walking through this world feeling pretty much unseen and pretty ostracized. And then you got this warm, brave, compassionate, amazing, Gemini and Geminis are good with language, right? And this is Gemini having a little conversation and letting this person know, I'm so happy to see you. Think of how wonderful that would feel to feel welcomed and to feel secure and to know that somebody is consistently telling us that they like us when we haven't had anybody like in our corner, and worse, we haven't had anyone other than people that maybe shunned us. That would be a massive gift. Boy, this feels amazing. This feels like Gemini's instincts are spot on, but it's also that Gemini must like this person. We've seen Gemini say with the 4 of Wands, maybe Gemini is resonating or understanding something about this person at a deeper level. Like there's something about them that I identify with. All of this just says, I think Gemini is mature enough, wise enough, and brave enough to say, look, I only know that I like this person, and I think I'll reach out to them, or I'll make an effort to be around them. I'll sit by them in the cafeteria at lunchtime. I'll, make sure that I kind of stand beside them in line. I'm picturing, like, how kids like form friendships, and I don't remember how you make friends as a kid because it was just effortless. It was just easy. My first friend I ever had in my life is still, someone who's in my life. And I don't remember how we became friends because it was just what it was. It's like second grade, and that becomes your little friend. You didn't have to ask somebody. There wasn't anything. You just kind of wound up sitting on swings together side by side, and it was just easy. I don't know. And you just stay friends. There isn't a time when it's like you're wondering, ooh, do they like me or not? You just are just friends. And it's like breathing. I almost think that's the amazingness of this Gemini. Gemini is like taking that approach. I like somebody, I'm just going to let them know I like them. It's as easy as breathing for me. Probably because Gemini is brave, very secure in themselves, and very mature. And if somebody doesn't want to be their friend, or in this case, since we're working with the adult world, their potential romantic partner, Gemini will give them that respect too. Be like, that's cool. Still like you, but that's okay. But the thing is, I think that this person almost needs Gemini. In this fictional story, this is somebody who, they could be a little awkward. High Priestess is sideways. They're intuitive as well, but their intuition is either something that they don't always trust. They don't trust people really like them. Maybe that's why we have Gemini as sensing, I think I'm going to be the one who has to step forward a little bit. But this also explains why Gemini is feeling a vibe from them. They're putting it off. They might even be putting off the energy of like, I wish that Gemini would come toward me and make me feel welcome, because I like that Gemini too, but I'm so used to getting it wrong. Maybe I'm wrong here. They need the invitation. In this storyline, this is somebody who needs the invitation, and Gemini knows that. But I like the fact that Gemini's not doing this for them per se. Gemini's doing it because Gemini likes this person. They don't want to miss out on getting to know this person better. I could see that this full moon is just bringing up, just matter of fact, like, you like somebody, you may as well tell them, because what do you got to lose? Big deal. Worst case scenario is they're taken, unavailable, not attracted to us. Oh, well, that can happen anyway. I just love that this Gemini is so bold and brave. So really nice. Hey, Joan. Hi, Susan Heels. Love your name. Sweet, you're so awesome. Thank you so much. Longest time, Billy Joel. You're so good with lyrics. Oh my God, you're so awesome. April Toms, thanks again, babe. So wonderful to hang out with you. Tammy and Wendy E. and Truly Natural, Voyager 2, Moon Pony, Mosin, and RS. All right, you guys, lots of love. I will see you next. We've got Scorpio and Ophiuchus still on the plate for tonight. I'll see you guys in just a minute. Bye for right now.